I mean, he's a foundational piece for a reason. The guy's special. Anytime he's on the field, he's a game changer. He's a playmaker. So I'm not surprised that he was the one that came up with the big play to win it for us. I mean, we fight for each other. I mean, that's everybody. I mean, I don't think they're fighting so hard because of me. I don't think they're fighting so hard because of Kevin. We fight because we have each other. This is a brotherhood. We don't get a second chance at this. So
Myles Garrett didn't hold anything back. In a fiery post-game press conference, the Browns' all-pro edge rusher went all in defending his quarterback in the strongest terms possible. The player he was defending? Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland's young signal caller who'd been absorbing criticism after a stretch of difficult games. But after the Browns' clash with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Garrett had enough. His message was direct and undeniable. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a key piece for this team. He's their most explosive playmaker, period. When reporters pressed Garrett about Sanders' performance, he didn't hesitate. No political answers, no dancing around the truth. Garrett laid it out plain. When Shedeur is locked in, he commands the offense, dictates the game's rhythm, and swings momentum in Cleveland's favor. That's precisely what unfolded in their win over Pittsburgh. Garrett's words carried weight beyond simple praise. This was a direct answer to the mounting criticism Sanders had been facing. The media cycle had been relentless, raising questions about whether Sanders could truly lead the Browns, speculation about his rapport with teammates, rumors about locker room tension, doubts about whether he could shoulder the responsibility of being Cleveland's franchise quarterback. Myles Garrett shut it all down. The veteran defender tackled every narrative directly, refusing to let his quarterback get misrepresented. According to Garrett, the idea that Sanders wasn't in sync with his teammates was completely off base. He made it perfectly clear the entire team has Sanders' back. There's no division, no fracture, no lack of trust, just unity, commitment, and collective belief. Garrett's stance was simple and forceful. Shedeur Sanders is their leader, and every player in that locker room is locked in together.
You want to make the most of it every time you step on the field. And you know what the guy next to you has put into it. You know what this means to him, and you don't want to take this for granted. 1 second.
You could sense Garrett's intensity rising. He made it obvious there was no space for questioning Shedeur's ability or dedication. The truth in Garrett's eyes was straightforward. Shedeur was meeting every challenge thrown at him, and it was past time for everyone, media, fans, critics, to recognize it. The defensive captain had the facts on his side, too. The Browns had just taken down their fierce divisional opponent, and Shedeur had been a driving force in making it happen. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just managing the pressure of running an NFL offense. He was pushing through a media circus, facing relentless scrutiny with every overthrow and every perceived misstep. Critics jumped on him the moment things went sideways. But in this matchup, Shedeur showed exactly why he won the starting job. Under heavy pressure, he delivered a commanding performance that quieted the doubters and justified his position behind center. Against the Steelers, Shedeur Sanders was the definition of steady. Despite constant pressure from one of the league's most aggressive defenses, he held his ground in the pocket and proved he could own the moment. Cleveland was squaring off against a division rival with a punishing defense and a track record of breaking young quarterbacks. Shedeur never blinked. He ran the game plan with precision, kept the offense rolling, and repeatedly positioned the Browns to capitalize. What really jumped out was Shedeur's composure under duress. There were several plays where the Steelers' pass rush closed in fast, collapsing the pocket, threatening to swallow him up. Time and time again, Sanders processed the defense, fired accurate passes, and moved the chains. His ability to stay poised and make sharp decisions in high-stakes moments showed his maturity at the position and his rising confidence as a field general. One of the standout elements of Sanders' game was his accuracy. He kept a strong completion percentage all game long, connecting on crucial throws that extended drives and kept Cleveland in control. His efficiency was a stark contrast to Aaron Rodgers, one of the NFL's biggest names, who couldn't find his groove in his own game. Rodgers finished with only a 53% completion rate, while Sanders was significantly sharper, proving his ability to execute when it mattered most. But this goes beyond numbers. Sanders' leadership was front and center. Despite the media storm and the constant criticism surrounding his play, he refused to let it shake his preparation or his execution. Instead of folding under the spotlight, he channeled it into fuel to silence his critics. He walked into that Steelers game with a point to prove, and he delivered exactly what Cleveland needed. His performance sent an undeniable message. Shedeur Sanders isn't just the future of the Cleveland Browns. He's already a foundational player, and he's here to stay. The media had been quick to dismiss him, questioning his readiness and his potential. On that Sunday, Sanders made sure everyone knew how wrong they were. For Myles Garrett, this wasn't only about backing up a teammate's performance on the field. It was about standing up for Shedeur Sanders' character and leadership. Garrett's comments were a statement. Shedeur isn't some rookie trying to find his way. He's a leader, a relentless competitor, and someone who has the full support of everyone in that locker room. Garrett's faith in Sanders was absolute. Shedeur Sanders is our guy. That wasn't throwaway praise. It was a statement of trust, confidence, and belief in Sanders' ability to lead this franchise moving forward. Garrett made it crystal clear that the Browns are in strong hands with Sanders under center. It's not just about physical tools or athleticism. It's about command, leadership, and the ability to stay calm when everything's hanging in the balance. Sanders had shown he could step up and deliver in pressure-packed moments, and Garrett wasn't going to let anyone downplay that. As the media kept questioning Shedeur's standing within the organization, Garrett took it upon himself to end the narrative for good. He refused to let anyone undermine Sanders' preparation, commitment, and talent. The message rang loud and clear. Shedeur Sanders had earned his spot as the team's leader, and Garrett was backing him completely.
It wasn't really like super surprising. You know, we got great players on the Hungry Dogs. So Sal was able to come back in and be able to get his feet wet.
The Browns' win over the Steelers marked a pivotal moment, not just for the team's playoff push, but for Shedeur Sanders' standing. This was the game where he proved to everyone, doubters included, that he has what it takes to guide Cleveland to victory. He didn't just make plays, he made them in critical situations. His composure, his accuracy, and his pocket awareness were all essential in securing the win, but it was his leadership that truly separated him. For Browns fans, the message couldn't be more obvious. Shedeur Sanders isn't just the future, he's the now. This is a young quarterback with the ability to take this franchise to championship contention. The pressure was massive, and he responded with confidence and precision. Now the rest of the league has to pay attention. Garrett's words echoed throughout the locker room, where the entire team rallied behind their quarterback. The Browns are no longer a team looking for direction. They're a team that believes in each other, battles for each other, and trusts each other fully. And at the center of that trust is Shedeur Sanders. Garrett's defense of Sanders wasn't about a single game or a single outing. It was about correcting the record permanently. It was about declaring to the world that Shedeur Sanders has the complete backing of his teammates and his fans. No more uncertainty, no more doubt. Sanders proved his value, and Garrett made sure the entire league heard it. This wasn't just about Shedeur Sanders shutting up his critics. It was about the Cleveland Browns proving they're a team on the rise. With leaders like Garrett and Sanders setting the standard, the future looks exceptionally bright for this franchise. The media may have questioned Sanders before, but after this performance, they can't deny his talent, his leadership, and his ability to come through in pivotal moments. For the Browns, this signals a fresh start. It was a game that not only solidified Shedeur Sanders as the team's quarterback, but also announced to the league that Cleveland is a legitimate threat. And Garrett's unshakable support showed that this team is locked in on its goal to win with Sanders leading the way. The message echoed loud and clear. Shedeur Sanders is the leader of the Cleveland Browns, and he's earned that role every step of the way. With Garrett and the rest of the roster supporting him, the sky's the limit for the Browns and their young quarterback. As for the media, they'll need to reconsider before doubting Shedeur Sanders again. He answered the criticism and demonstrated that he's fully equipped to handle the pressure that comes with being Cleveland's quarterback. With a performance like that, it's clear Sanders is prepared for whatever obstacles come next, and he's not backing down from anyone. In the end, this was more than just a victory for the Cleveland Browns. It was a statement that they believe in their quarterback, that they're unified behind him, and that together they're going to achieve something special. And with Shedeur Sanders leading the charge, the future of the Browns has never been brighter.